afternoon, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Boy, did I have quite the morning. We'll get into that throughout the day. It is Tuesday, March 6th, 2025. Jeez. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. Later on in the show, we are going to be joined by the world-renowned Kamala Harris impersonator, Estee. Palti. It is going to be one hell of a time. Make sure you guys keep it locked in for that one. I want to be clear, and I'm going to say this 2 or 3 times beforehand. It is an R-rated interview. It is going to be an R-rated interview. That's going to happen. Just a heads up. Because Estee is an absolute savage, and she can pretty much do whatever she wants. Also, we are going to be going over all the stuff I didn't get to cover yesterday about the State of the Union over the course of the last several days. The CNN Snap poll, Nicole Wallace and Rachel Maddow being genuinely awful, Scott Jennings having way too much fun, and a lot of other juicy stuff coming out of the mayor hearing yesterday on Capitol Hill. So we're going to get into all of that throughout the course of the day. Before we get started, though, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Share it out. Where's my live chat? Where's my live chat? Jeanette, how are you? Let's pop boom. Why isn't it up? What are we doing? I had quite the morning today. I got to be honest with you. So interestingly enough, give you guys a little heads up. This morning, I woke up to an odd text message. An odd email from X, from Twitter, saying that my account had been suspended permanently for inauthenticity. So I woke up this morning and I found out that my X account had been totally banned, which is weird because, if you make a threat, hate speech, whatever, crap, people get suspended for that. But I had no idea what the hell inauthenticity meant. So I texted basically everybody I knew who's got any sort of big following, and I was like, what the hell is this? What did I do? What on earth did I do? No one has any idea what this violation was. Nobody has any idea what the hell it was. Luckily, thanks to some friends, thanks to Sean Farish and Sherry and George Santos and Tiffany Savage, I was able to get my X account back, but it was weird. Many people believe that many leftists had begun a mass reporting campaign against me for impersonating someone else. So, lets me know that what I'm doing seems to be working. If they're doing all of this crap. So we're going to keep our pedal to the metal, our foot on the gas. We are not going to stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Once again, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. This show, of course, as always, is brought to you guys by Old Glory Bank.
What do a neurosurgeon, a country artist, and a television and radio host have in common? They all saw the writing on the wall. Big bank sharing your financial information with big government. Join them as owners in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank that protects your privacy, security, and liberty. Invest today at own.oldglorybank.com.
Imagine being able to get in on Chase Manhattan Bank or Citibank 100 years ago. Well, you have the opportunity to do that by going to own.oldglorybank.com. That is own.oldglorybank.com. Guys, check them out today. So I didn't get a real chance to go over a lot of the State of the Union stuff over the course of the last several days. We showed Carolyn Levitt's White House press briefing yesterday, which took up a lot of the show. But that State of the Union was absolutely incredible. It was absolutely incredible, and I'm happy to be able to go over it again. One part of it that I found really interesting, and somebody put up a graph the other day of border crossings here in America over the course of the last several decades. Let's check this out here. So, here we go. Historic illegal crossings along the U.S. southern border. Do you see 2020, how low it is, and how low it is right now? And this huge spike in the middle? That's all Joseph Robinette Biden. That is the amount of illegal immigrants who came into this country over the course of the last several years. And Donald Trump had a great line that very much upset the radical left.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you.
Oh, Nelly, did that set them off? Oh, did that set them off? And like I said yesterday, I said it briefly yesterday, what Donald Trump did at the beginning of this speech, which I think is so perfect, is it set Democrats up for what he knew they were going to do. When he said, there is nothing I could do. There is nothing I could do that would make these people get up and clap. There is nothing I could do to make them excited in any way, and we saw that with little DJ. Look, making a young sick kid's dream come true obviously was one of the most incredible things many of us have probably ever seen, or in just the context of this young kid's life. He's obviously been through a hell of a lot, but Democrats just could not give Donald Trump the win. And of course, following that, it's one thing to not stand up and clap. That was awful enough. But Nicole Wallace afterwards saying one of the most vile things I think I've ever heard a person say on television. If they had any morals or character or values over at MSNBC, she would have been fired immediately. Would have been fired immediately. But they don't. Here's one of the most vile things I think I've ever heard a person say.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
I mean, what do you even say to that? I'm not somebody who thinks, generally speaking, that someone's worst moment should define their career. I really don't. Anybody who spends their life, like I do, in front of a camera, talking into a microphone, you're going to say stuff that maybe you regret. Maybe you shouldn't have done. It's going to happen to all of us. Anybody who does this for a living, whether you're on TV, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're on radio. I don't know anybody still on radio, but I think radios still exist. Nobody, should be defined by the dumbest thing they've ever said in public if their job is to talk, because you're not going to be 100% all the time. However, I hope Nicole Wallace is defined by that moment. I hope she is. Because she really thought she was saying something profound. When in fact, how do these people sleep at night? Rachel Maddow, with the exact same sort of sentiment, said that the real thing they should have been focused on is Donald Trump cutting pediatric cancer research, which, of course, he didn't do.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who's thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising Doge. The Doge cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatrics.
And here's why this clip is so important. Look at the timing of it, okay? This was about 3 minutes after the speech ended, which means that Rachel Maddow, from the point where they made DJ an honorary Secret Service agent, she wanted that to be the first thing she said when she came out of the break, when she came back live on air. She wanted to make sure that everyone knew that that was the first and most important thing she had to say. Not only a falsehood, not only a lie, but a vile statement. A vile statement. But that's what Rachel Maddow gets. That's what you get from this woman. I guess that's what happens when you cut your own hair and then look in the mirror. Of course, there were some people out there that were just having way, 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 way too much fun. And that, of course, would be the only reason to even watch CNN, Scott Jennings.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure she's a very nice person. None of this will be remembered because this was a horrific night for the opposition party, regardless of how well she just spoke. It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control. Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
That you said false on one side and
ridiculous.
Elon on
and
the
then
other.
finally, and maybe most terribly, the Democrats who couldn't find it in their heart to stand for objectively good things, including the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel and Mark, who got rescued from a Russian prison, and they couldn't even stand up for that. I thought Democrats came into this speech lost and defeated by Donald Trump, and today it looks to me like they're even more lost and even more defeated than when this speech started.
They are, and that has been the topic. That has been the topic of like the last 3 weeks on this show. Democrats are completely lost. They don't know which way is up. And it leads them to allow their most radical members, their most insane people, to take charge. We saw Al Green yesterday get thrown off 2 nights ago, get thrown off the House floor for causing a scene. Well, today he got censured in Congress. And following his censure, for some reason, Democrats decided to gather on the House floor and sing "We Shall Overcome." Which, I mean, first off, it's a terrible song, but and objectively it's terrible. But also, like, what are you doing?
Is that he will call Congressman Green to the well. Oh, there we go. Let's listen in.
To answering present. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will come to order. The House will come to order. Shh. Will Representative Green present himself to the well? By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House will come to order. The House will come to order. What's it? What's it?
You wanted to let him keep doing this, or tell him
to come to order, clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business. Just say the House is in recess. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
A lot of people are out there going, why did Mike Johnson allow them to do that? I'm going to tell you why. Because it's ridiculous. They look like complete asshats. Let them beclown themselves. They're getting roasted on social media right now. Oh, there wasn't a Braves. It is so funny when I see people like this because they think like they're living in the 1960s and they're like marching with Dr. King, but they're not, because it turns out life is pretty good right now. And all of the problems that very obviously plagued America in its past are done. So they have nothing left to fight for. So they do crap like this and make a complete ass out of themselves. It's probably why when Donald Trump goes up on stage, even CNN is forced to admit that it turns out everyone loved it.
To the results, what was your reaction to Trump's speech? 44% of speech watchers in our instant poll tonight say they had a very positive reaction to Trump's speech. 25% somewhat positive, 31% negative.
Overwhelming majorities of people absolutely loved what Donald Trump had to say and thought that the Democrats were absolute clowns. And why wouldn't they be? I'm going to show you guys something. This is these are charts that I believe Frank Luntz, the famed pollster and best friend of Kevin McCarthy, created this sort of strategy as a way to poll people about how they felt about events in real time. This is actually something that's very, very fascinating. So what you're going to see here is a chart. And Democrats are given like a, I don't even know what you'd call it, like a Jeopardy buzzer. They're given like a Jeopardy buzzer. And when they like something, or a lever, or I'm not exactly sure how that works out. But basically, what you do is, if you like something, you click the button, and if you don't like it, then you don't click the button. And the lines go up and down. So Democrats are in blue, Independents are in yellow, and Republicans are in red. When Donald Trump honored Jocelyn Nungari's mother at the State of the Union address, watch the lines. Watch the lines and how Democrats in the blue, Independents in yellow, and Republicans in red reacted.
One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
That is an image in real time of Democrats just not caring. Look, take the politics out of it, okay? They just named a wildlife refuge after a 13-year-old girl who died. Democrats felt no emotion whatsoever. No emotion whatsoever. But that wasn't the only part. that we got to see Democrats utterly and completely upside down beclown themselves. When Donald Trump talked about trans men or whatever, when men and women's sports, and he told the story of Peyton McNabb, who got her face stoved in by a volleyball by some guy who sucked at boys volleyball, not a single one of them even moved an inch. Not a single one of them even moved. And you know what? Peyton had a response for those Democrats.
I wonder where they think they are with the American public on this issue. You'll see them in the audience, as you saw firsthand. These Democrats, congresswomen who showed up in pink specifically to protest President Trump's policies on women. As this is happening, we've got new polling from the New York Times on biological males in women's sports. And Peyton, when asked about thinking about transgender female athletes, meaning athletes who were born male.
Seriously, why is this statistic important? There is almost no topic in America that 80% of Americans agree on, except this one. And Democrats still can't get their minds around it.
And then choose to be female and participate in women's sports, only 18% think that should be allowed. Nearly 80% of respondents say that should not be allowed. So why do they think, Democrats, think that they're speaking for the people on this issue by protesting fairness in women's sports?
Once again, the Democrats have proven how out of touch they really are. I mean, like you said, 80% of the country agrees with this across all party lines. So for them to be willing to die on this hill just to push this agenda is absurd. And last night, I thought that the pink suits and everyone matching was real cute when, of course, the day before, 0 Democrats voted for the protection of women and girls. And then 0 Democrats stood and applauded when I was getting recognized for my injury because, like Raleigh said, I mean, they couldn't be more anti-woman, and frankly, they are anti-American. They really embarrassed themselves all night, and it was honestly sad to see, but I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
You know what? We need more women like that speaking out. I don't know how Democrats think that they're going to capture the women's vote moving into the next elections. I don't know how they're going to do it. If Democrats, and I want to be clear, this is not one of these, let's keep it a campaign issue, so let's never fix it. Democrats will not allow it to be fixed because it needs 60 votes in the Senate, which means 7 of them would have to switch over. It's not going to be fixed. And if Democrats want to die on this hill, they're going to be dying for quite some time. Guys, in just a minute, I am very happy. I am thrilled to be welcomed by Estee Palti. You guys know her as the world-famous Kamala Harris impersonator. But in addition to that, she's also my friend. So she's going to be coming on. We're going to be talking about the State of the Union. I want to make this very, very clear. This is an R-rated interview. It is rated R. There are a lot of naughty words because Estee is a complete and utter savage when she's not in her Kamala Harris state. So I just want to, warn everybody, there's going to be some choice words. So keep the kiddies away. But before we get to that, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We are rocking. We are rolling. Before we get to Estee, Mike Lindell.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 6-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Guys, head on over to mypillow.com. Use promo code LOUD. That's mypillow.conservative on what's happening. Mypillow.com. Promo code LOUD for their giant mega sale. Guys, we'll be back in 1 second with, honestly, the impression is great. One of my favorite people in the world. We'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, we are back. Yes, as you guys see from the thumbnail, I am so thrilled to bring back onto the show a good friend of mine who became slightly famous for her cackling, rambling, absolute, utterly incredible impersonation of Kamala Harris, but she's also one of my favorite people on the planet. So I am so happy to welcome back Mommy RN88. Estee, what is going on?
What is going on? How are you?
I'm so happy you're back. Yeah, I was worried because now that we have been unburdened by what could have been, I was afraid.
I know. It feels touchy at times, it feels touchy, but that's okay. I have many constituents and fellow lawmakers to make fun of, so it's all okay.
It's so funny because the minute I read that Kamala Harris was thinking about running for governor of California, I was like, Estee's back. She's back. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Listen, sky's the limit for me if she runs again in 2028. I'm not going to be opposed to that, but
do it.
Yeah, I would love to see what that looks like, honestly.
Look, Kamala Harris, if you're listening, no one wants you to be president, but we all want you to run again.
That's exactly it.
That's exactly it.
That's right.
So obviously the talk of the town is Trump's non-State of the Union speech that I guess wasn't a State of the Union, but definitely was. And the utter calamity that ensued from that. We were talking about it earlier in the show today. It is wild to see what Democrats do when they don't have a message, they don't have a leader, they don't have anybody steering the ship, and they're just kind of letting their most radical people sort of fly off.
I've been saying it for the longest time. We have been in a narcissistic relationship with the Democratic Party for the longest time. All they do is gaslight. Everything they accuse you of, they're doing themselves. It can drive a person absolutely batshit crazy, especially when you have to work and, speak day-to-day basis to people that are going to have opposing political views from you. And I always say, it's about perspective because people can come from the same family and some of them get it, some of them don't, but they're indoctrinated beyond repair. And I love that Donald Trump is probably the only person that could have really driven this all the way home. And yesterday was his I told you, fuck you moment, because when he got up there and he said, look how that worked out for you. He had to put in his, so I feel like he's been on fire. He's been on fire. I feel, I don't feel sorry for the Democrats. I don't have a lot of empathy for them, but I feel bad for them because you can see their heads are exploding. All right. From the ones that are screaming out to the ones that had a walkout, and it's all nonsense. All of them are like, well, I had to walk out because what he's saying is just absurd and it's lies and I can't take it anymore. It's like, no, you don't want to face reality. Mm-hmm. You cocksuckers showed your faces yesterday when you sat there and you refused to clap for a kid that is dying from cancer. You did not even want to get up and show solidarity with Laken Riley's family. At the end of the day, your hatred for Donald Trump has turned into a hatred for America. And I think that all they did was beautifully expose themselves for what they are. But unfortunately, they're following people like this cunt muscle JoJo from Jers or whatever the fuck. I can't stand her. I can't. Obviously she's getting paid and every single tweet now is Trump, 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 because she knows that rage bait engagement is the only card she has left. So
and it's so great that you mention the ex-influencers and whatnot, because
Harry Wallace Sison, all of them, they know what's going on.
They know that they have nothing, so they're just building their own brands up. And because of that, the best way to look, and I do it on social media all the time, and I have no shame about it. The best way to build a brand on social media is to be the most obnoxious person on the planet. And because they are doing that, whether it's the Krasensteins or Harry Sisson or JoJo or that alleged former crack dealer from Brooklyn, I forget his name, something
Brooklyn Dad or something like Brooklyn Faggot.
But in doing that, all you're doing is turning off more people because, the Republican influencers actually think for themselves. We all came together based on a common set of ideas.
Exactly.
The left thinks we were all like, oh, Donald Trump cultist. But look, you and I, we are friends. We probably disagree on things. And do you know what that means? We sort of just move on. And instead, on the left, because their entire focus is Donald Trump, their methods in getting there make them look ridiculous, like Timu Al Sharpton, Al Green.
Dude. Yeah, Al Green in and of itself. Do you know that because of there's a lot of members of Congress and all that, and I was really concentrating on Kamala Harris, right, for the last 4 years, and there's so many of them, and I was really only looking at like the main ones, like the Squad and all that. When you watch Jasmine Crockett, I swear to God, she could be you can confuse her for a ratchet influencer.
Yeah.
She came out and she was like, "Yeah, my people built this motherfucker. My people built this motherfucker. All right, so I'm not gonna stand there and listen to this white man's nonsense. You know that's right. Yo, I'm a finna go in there and fight him, and I'll fight Elon Musk too. Like, watching that on X is like, who's this ratchet bitch? Like, she has a seat in Congress. So the left does not have a lot of winners on their side. And then Nancy Pelosi was readjusting herself. And I even posted it on X. She's readjusting the scribe with tomorrow's stock trades that are jammed so far up her ass. And she was sitting there like holding her broom that she was going to fly off into the night on. And she was like,
yo, just watching her like very obviously fix her teeth. Like, like
her retainer or her dentures,
like work them all around. It's so funny. I said it to somebody today. You know who Jasmine Crockett reminds me of? She reminds me of Lil' Kim back in the 90s, which like
Lil' Kim, New York from I Love New York. If you remember that, she reminds me of New York so much, but New York actually had more class. She was like a ratchet, classy bitch.
I don't mean to besmirch our friends in the Republic of Texas, but we're New Yorkers here, and we're just better than you. We just are. Please don't shoot. But no, it's that's what she reminds me of. She reminds me of that sort of like 90s female rapper that thought they had to sound like the guys and they had to like show how tough they are. She's got and look, I want to be clear. This is not a race thing. This is a culture thing.
Oh, it's a culture thing. 100%.
Like Cardi B now.
She's the person
that
like Kamala Harris. Yeah. She's the person that Kamala Harris tried to pander to. And somehow she got a seat in Congress, but that's the person that Kamala Harris used to say, shout out to my brothers and sisters. All right, I see y'all. I see the grape soda and the cat and the fried chicken. Yeah, I see some of y'all. Like they're racist to each other.
Watching her do that was like, and it's so funny because it just shows you what a person who may be part black thinks black people are like that have never actually been around them. Like no one like when Hillary Clinton had the hot sauce in her purse. Like first off, no one carries sauce with them. Like I'm white, I don't like carry mayonnaise or
it's giving I'm not racist because I have a friend that's black. That's the behavior of the Democratic Party. That's what it's giving. And
the difference is we actually do have black friends.
Yeah.
Like Kamala Harris in her neighborhood with a college professor as a parent, like you didn't.
Yeah, she didn't. And she married Dougie. Let's be real here.
Poor Dougie. Has anyone checked on him? Because I think he is currently being beaten. Like, I just assume he's like tied up in like a dungeon somewhere, and she only lets him out every once in a while.
I think he's making her moonshine because she goes through him quick, and she probably locks him in the basement, and she goes, and get back down there.
So, what was your? I mean, honestly, there were I was joking around when I was doing the live show. There were so many great moments that I stopped writing them down after the first like 15 minutes because I'm like, it's going to be the whole thing. But what was your big moment from the speech? What was that really jumped out to you?
I think like probably it's not even that big of a moment, but I really cracked up when he said, I've been up here 5 times already. 5 times I've been up here. Like when he was like, this is my 5th time in front of Congress. And no matter what I do, I can cure diseases. You know, I can fix the world. These people on this side, they're not going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's very telling of the state of affairs in America. There are so many people that have chosen to actually hate everything American simply because it might coincide with the Make America Great movement again. Like if there's even like a show, right? I'm going to go off the sidelines a little bit because I have ADD that's undiagnosed. White Lotus. I don't watch shows, but this clip has been going viral for the past few days. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but the new season has dropped and there's a clip there where these friends are at dinner and they're berating their friend who happened to move to Texas. And they're like, isn't it weird for you? And she's like, no, these are nice people. They're okay. And they're like, yeah, but like they're a bunch of Trumpers. So they were talking to her as if they thought that she was one of them. And they were clearly Democrat, probably libs. And in that segment, she goes, well, I'm an independent, but Dave's a Republican. She was talking about her husband. And one of them goes like, but you didn't vote for Donald Trump, did you? And like, that's in the show. So that is currently the culture. The thing that pissed me off about that part in the show is that they were saying it, like she was embarrassed to admit that she voted for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But those people are still, why I bring that up, those people are still clinging to that. They're clinging to that. They want to still try to shame people that love America. You know what? It doesn't work anymore. So they're kind of yelling by themselves now. They're yelling to each other like, can you believe this? Can you believe this? Like, yeah, we can fucking believe it. Can you believe that you're on the wrong side of history? Globalizing the Intifada on the streets of Fifth Avenue, you fucking morons, like sitting there complaining. You will get thrown off a building in Gaza first with your pink, blue, brown hair and your half mutilated genitals. I don't understand their mindset. They don't even understand what they stand for. It's nothing but virtue signaling. It makes them feel important to be part of something. And they're in the I hate Donald Trump trend, and they can't stand anything. They can't stand anything he stands for, what he stands with. I think the hatred is already so embedded. I've said this for a long time. I feel like we need a divorce as a country, like 100%. There's no coming back from this. But I think these people, whether they like it or not, they're either going to stew in misery, which is going to be 80% of them, and some of them are going to enjoy and reap the benefits, but are going to still complain.
It's so interesting that you said that, because so many people have considered the idea of national divorce, and I've sat there and I've thought about it, and I'm like, is this really what we want? Well, first off, I don't even know what the hell that even looks like. It's not like it's North versus South anymore. Number one. Number two, if we're separating between blue and red states, just so you're all aware, Estee and I will be leading the resistance from within, as we are born here in the land of delicious tomato sauce and ugly liberals.
I think that we should stay on the East. I think that Hollywood and pedophiles and all them, they could take the West. All right, I will part away with the West. They can have the West. We'll take the guns. All right, they can take all we'll take the cops, right? They hate the cops. So we'll take the law. We'll take all that. We'll take the Constitution because they hate that bitch. They can take the homelessness that they love. They can take all the illegals there that are left over. They can take the cartels and whatever, all of that. They can take the trans community. I mean, it would be a really beautiful divorce. Well, the custody agreement would actually benefit everyone.
It's funny you say, because I joke around all the time. I'm like, it's almost like the people who formed the country knew what was going to happen, because they drew a perfect line. Washington, Oregon, California. But then I think to myself, like, we got friends out there. They're saying the same thing about us. They're watching Eric Adams. Eric Adams, who the next 3 months of his life is going to be so interesting, because he is so homeless right now. Everyone hates him. Everyone hates him. Like, Democrats hate him because he coated up to Trump and Tom Homan. We hate him because he let Manhattan Island get 8.5% of their population in 18 months. Like, I've never seen somebody with less of a home than Eric Adams right now.
I hope it's going to be Cuomo, if I'm being honest with you. I know that people feel
it's going to be 1,000%. It's going to be Andrew Cuomo. 100%.
It has to be Cuomo, because he's the lesser of all the evils that are being presented currently, especially the Mahdani, this pro-Hamas dweeb. I don't like him. I don't like anything that, and I don't give a fuck about it.
Zoltan?
Yeah.
Yeah, every time somebody says his name, I just for our younger viewers out there, you'll remember in Dude, Where's My Car when they're like,
Swear to God, that's why I'm laughing.
every time they say every time I see that dude's name pop up anywhere, I'm just Sultan. Like, because I'm a child, and that's a great look. Dude, Where's My Car is a great movie, and if you don't think so,
It was an incredible movie. Do you know, in one of my Kamala skits, actually, I threw it in. I actually was possibly on Gutfeld, but there was a moment where I panicked and I was in a word salad moment, and I started talking about, well, that's the continuum transfunctioner, and we're gonna do everything in our power to recover it. And it was so good because I posted it, and there was like people on YouTube, they're like, you did not just quote fucking Dude, Where's My Car?
I love dropping like the obscure movie reference. And look, this is gonna happen in the chat. I promise you. There's gonna be like there's gonna be 3 people in the chat right now who are gonna understand the Dude, Where's My Car. Every time I drop a Seinfeld reference, someone will like follow it up. And I love doing the obscurity to it. But you think it's gonna be Andrew Cuomo? Huh? I do think
it's gonna be Andrew Cuomo. I mean, listen, New Yorkers are very unhappy with him because of what he did with the nursing homes. You know, at that time, Trump had delivered the Jacob, I think, Javits Center, a ship. And, he turned it away. He was very smug. I only liked that he was very, because I think there was like a ground zero patient in New York. So he was very like, New Yorkers, you got the courage. I mean, he did give that, motivational, like, we're going to get through this together, blah, blah, blah. Did he lead the city in an effective way during that era? I wouldn't say yes, but he definitely has more positives than negatives in comparison with the other ones. Like,
that's what I said it on the Matt Gaetz show the other day. I was like, Cuomo's going to win, but not because he's good, because the rest of the field is insane.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. It's completely, so nobody, and you're right about Adams. Adams dropped the ball heavy. He didn't do an amazing job. I always see him at these parties. He's cozying up to all these communities. He's big in the Jewish community. I don't know why the Jews like him. He says like he's for the Jews, right? But have you done anything to combat anti-Semitism or whatever? No, you haven't done shit.
Well, we're seeing it today. They took over Barnard College again.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
but only when Trump is in office do we actually see movement. That's what's crazy. Because, on a local level that these mayors and these governors at a state level, they have a lot more authority. But this man is so powerful that he got into the White House and they know that he means business. So, like, and they know it so well. Like at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, like this man really like just does what he says. And that's just the end of it. To the point where your enemies are put in a corner. You don't know what to do. So for those people, I mean, Adams is he's not looking good for Adams at all.
No, the only chance Adams is going to have is if he runs third party. And if he runs third party, then maybe we get a Republican. We'll throw our hands up and we'll say, a little 34, 33, 33 if he were to run independent. But like I said, he's going to be the best. I mean, Jessica Ramos is an idiot. You got Brad Landers, who ran the city into debt. You got the guy who came before Landers, the comptroller. The ugly one from Sex and the City is going to jump in the race again. Kashio, I would say, I was once forced to sit through that entire show because men will watch anything women ask them to watch. And I used to say it was the main one, the hot one, the slutty one, and the ugly one. The ugly one keeps trying to run for mayor or governor or every other seat. So I hope the ugly one jumps in. But it was watching the cast of crazies because that's the only way to win a Democratic primary is to be the most radical person. So I'm a little worried that the guy whose mother teaches colonialism at Columbia, I'm worried he could get some juice, Sultan.
Listen, I'm hoping they really, that's, and I've been telling people to register as a Democrat so that we can have a chance at voting, for the weakest person. And that's what I did. I'm actually currently a registered Democrat. It's crazy probably for the viewers listening, but it's what we have to do in New York. There's no other way. And people are like, oh, move. Oh, you traitor. No, like, no, that's not the way it fucking works. That's the law. If you want to be involved, and I want to vote for the mayor. If you want to vote for the mayor, you have to have been registered as a Democrat by February 14th. And there's so many people that dropped the ball that didn't do this.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm nervous, because there's some people, no matter what, like even if it's on paper, they will not register as a Dem. I understand the demon juice that comes from within while you register, but you have to be strong. You have to fight it. The
demon juice. You know what though is that there's a lot of people that do that. They do that in open primary states, and it is. Well,
this is a closed primary state. We have no choice. If you want to vote for mayor, you have to do this. It's like, okay, your voice doesn't count then. We're going to get another radical person in here. And that's exactly why places like New York are going to continue being blue, because the other side either doesn't want to play dirty like them, and they don't want to register as a Dem and get their voice heard. But unfortunately, I don't think we have other options. You have to.
No, we don't. I actually found out the other day that somebody told me that members of people running for elected office, I won't say which ones, were told to stay away from me because I'm a radical. And I thought to myself, yeah, I radically win races. And that person who was told that is not currently a congressman. So what the hell are you gonna do? I think he would have been your congressman, if I'm being honest. But just saying.
I know who you're talking about immediately.
I'm not pointing.
Immediately know who you're talking about.
I'm not pointing any fingers here at all.
But I love that for us, Kevin. Look, if I run, I think I would pick you as one of my advisors, as long as you hand me the keys to the liquor cabinet, just every once in a while.
I love it. Once again, we are here with the world famous Kamala Harris impersonator, Mommy RN88, on every social media platform. Chat it up, Estee. It was so funny when we first started talking. When I found out that you were relatively drivable to me, we went to a Republican club meeting. That was the first time we met. And one of the people at the Republican club, and all the locals here will understand how funny this is. One of the guys at the club came up to me and goes, "So do you just find political impersonators and become friends with them?" And I'm like, I want you to know both of these happened totally by accident.
Right?
Somehow,
isn't that so funny? Yeah.
Somehow
I still love how Sean got into the Trump stuff. I still love that story.
It's so great. He literally, we weren't drunk because he was driving. And, he ordered me some food and did it as Trump. And now he's got 500,000 TikTok followers. So, Sean, send over some of that TikTok rev any day now, bro, because you got famous and I probably ate spit. So, Estee, I want to thank you so much for coming on, chatting as always. Where can everybody find you?
I'm on X, MommyRN88. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube. And, please stay tuned because Kamala's out of the picture. I actually just promoted James O'Keefe's new documentary as Kamala. And the reason I mention this is because she's still somewhat in the picture. People still want to see. I still get cameo requests, but now they're different. It used to be cameo requests oh, hey, say happy birthday as Kamala. Now it's hey, can you troll my liberal friend and just talk about how shitty it is that you lost and all this stuff. And it's just such funny requests. So, Kamala's still around, but I'm definitely, playing around with new characters. So please, guys, by all means, come follow, check me out. Kevin would love to jump back on again anytime you want to have me.
Absolutely. Next time, maybe we'll do Alex Jones interviewing Kamala Harris.
That would be wild.
I'll get one of those Saturday Night Live bald caps and just wear a way tighter shirt.
We should totally do it.
Absolutely. Estee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Alrighty, guys, we will be right back.
When big banks decide who gets access to America's financial systems and who doesn't, who do you think gets left out? Middle Americans who proudly wave their pro-America values. Cancel culture in banking is corrosive. It limits your participation in a vibrant, free market economy. Fortunately, you can fight back. You now have the opportunity to invest in the bank that's investing in a fair American banking system, one based in freedom. Ownership in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank, is here. Old Glory Bank is a full-service FDIC-insured bank that's the alternative to overreaching, un-American big banks. We stand for privacy, security, and liberty. We stand for freedom, family, faith, and the flag. We stand for all the values you stand for, and for the values big banks can't stand. So help keep banking in the hands of Main Street, not Wall Street. To invest in Old Glory Bank, go to oldglorybank.com.
Guys, head on over to oldglorybank.com. That's oldglorybank.com. Consider opening up one of their competitive 3.5% interest rates. Certified deposits. Guys, everybody should have their money in CDs. Lock in these interest rates before the interest rates go down by going to oldglorybank.com. That's oldglorybank.com. So happy Estee was here. Genuinely one of my favorite people around. I'm so happy that that I got to meet her a couple times. I was with her on election night. We got to enjoy that together. That was an awful good time. So, guys, once again, hit the thumbs up button. We got 1,100 people watching live. There should be no reason why we don't have 300 rumbles. What in the hell are we doing here? What are we doing here? Come on, let's go. You guys can do it. Bing, bing, bing. Hit that. Make sure you guys are following the page as always. So, yesterday there was some fireworks, some might say, out of the House hearing by the sanctuary state governor, sanctuary state mayors. The sanctuary state mayors who came into Congress and had absolutely, it seemed like they were not prepared for this at all whatsoever. Absolutely getting grilled by House Republicans on their sanctuary city policy. Here was Nancy Mace doing her thing, being the smartass that she always is, and is always pretty good at.
Okay, do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Anyone break a crime?
Yes or no? This is not hard. Yes or no?
Anyone that break a crime should be detained.
Okay, Mayor, yes or no?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or
causes
no?
harm
Yes or
and
no?
breaks
Okay,
the
Mayor
law
Wu?
should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions. Mayor Wu? Yes or no?
Anyone who's a public safety question.
All right, my next question.
This is why you have a 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions. Look, Nancy Mace is nothing else but funny. If she's nothing else, she's funny as hell, and I appreciate that. I appreciate a good smart-ass comment when it is well placed. But that was not the big news. That was not the big news out of the hearing. Every single one of those mayors basically admitted to breaking the law. Basically admitted to violating federal law. Basically admitted to aiding and abetting a federal crime. And Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, who I do like how we're getting like in the House on the Republican side, we're starting to get like a Savage off on who is going to be better at answering these questions. Anna Paulina Luna came out and said what a lot of us have been thinking.
So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago? Or how about agencies, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrant?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8 Code subsection 1324, and is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people, and that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
Would you yield your last minute?
Yes, sir.
So she's going to be referring them to the Department of Justice because they're breaking federal law. Look, do I think this is going to go anywhere? Not really. Do I think that they're going to come scoop up Mayor Wu from Boston? I still don't know how the hell Boston has an Asian mayor, but that's not really the point. Do I think anything's really going to happen with that? Probably not. But it is nice to see that at least we're trying. At least we are applying some pressure, forward pressure, on some of these people. This is what happens when you have a leader. Republicans have a leader. Democrats have absolutely nothing. And in just a second, I'm going to show you what happens when you are leaderless. When you are absolutely leaderless. It turns out you really, really go out of your way to make an ass out of yourself. And Democrats did that today in a very serious way. But I've got a big announcement, everybody. I've got a big announcement. Who here drinks coffee? Do you drink coffee? I'm sure you do. Everyone does. Everybody does. Well, now, if you guys want, you can support the loud majority with the Stay Loud coffee. This is, I've actually been wanting to do this for quite some time, but I haven't been able to set up this sort of coffee. You guys can go to loudmajorityusa.com. You can get whole bean or ground coffee. Boom, look at this. Whole bean or ground coffee in the Stay Loud variety with a very special packaging. Also, anybody who signs up for the Stay Loud coffee program, anybody who signs up for this, I will send you a free Make America Great Again hat. I will send you a free Make America Great Again hat for anybody who signs up for the Loud Majority Coffee Club. And you guys can do that by going to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. We really do appreciate the support, guys. Can't do it without your help. So Democrats don't know which way is up. But they're trying to win the social media game. Whether it's Gavin Newsom starting a podcast, sitting down with Charlie Kirk, which I can't wait to watch, or it is trying to pick up on social media trends like this one. What in the sweet hell was that? Man, these people are so cringe and they don't even know it. They suck so bad and they don't even know it. That was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. Democrats, keep it up, guys. Don't worry, the next 20 years of Republican rule is going to be awesome. Guys, we're going to check out for the day. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. Will Johnson coming up next. On your way out the door, hit that thumbs up button. Did we get to 300? Did we get the media? We didn't get it yet. Damn it. Let's see. I think we'll get it as we leave. Once again, anybody who signs up for the Loud Majority Coffee Club, I will send you a free Make America Great Again hat as a thank you. So I really do appreciate that, guys. On the way out the door, hit the thumbs up button. Will Johnson coming up next right here on this network. Until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.